Have you ever wondered what panic, desperation, and absolute madness look like in the modern football transfer market? Well, stop wondering, because what just happened in the last 24 hours has completely shaken the Premier League to its absolute core. Imagine walking into a store, seeing a price tag of $76 million, and slamming down $123 million on the counter just to make a statement. Sounds completely insane, right? But in the chaotic, high-stakes, ruthless world of modern football, this is exactly the kind of jaw-dropping drama that unfolds behind closed doors. Welcome back to Total Football Nexus. If you thought this transfer window was going to be quiet, predictable, or boring, you are in for a massive shock. Today, we are breaking down a mega deal that absolutely no one saw coming, a transfer that could single-handedly shift the balance of power in England. And later, we will also look at some absolute masterclasses in the free agent market that prove you do not always need a billionaire owner to build a highly competitive team. But before we get to those brilliant hidden gems, we have to talk about the massive elephant in the room, the $123 million elephant. Let us set the scene. Tottenham Hotspur, a club historically known for being incredibly careful with their finances, a club that usually negotiates over every single penny. But something has clearly snapped inside the Spurs boardroom. They looked at their midfield, they looked at the massive gap between them and the absolute elite of European football, and they decided to press the nuclear button. The target? Sandro Tonali. Yes, you heard that right. The Italian midfield maestro is officially packing his bags, leaving the passionate fans at St. James Park and Newcastle United and heading straight to North London. This is not just a regular transfer. This is a massive declaration of intent. But here's where the story gets incredibly weird, and where the deep psychology of this particular deal really starts to show. If you look at the current market metrics, Sandro Tonali is valued at roughly $76 million. That's a very fair, realistic price for a world-class central midfielder entering his prime years. But Tottenham did not pay $76 million. They didn't pay $80 million. They shattered the bank and paid an absolutely astronomical fee of $123 million. Just pause for a single second and let that reality sink in. That is a $47 million overpay. Why? Why would a club notoriously strict with their wage bill and transfer fees suddenly throw all financial logic straight out the window? The answer is a dangerous mixture of desperation and raw ambition. Spurs know that to control the beautiful game, you absolutely have to control the middle of the pitch. Tonali is a warrior. He's a dictator of the game's tempo. He brings that gritty, relentless, aggressive Italian mentality that Tottenham has arguably been missing for years. By handing him a massive 6-year contract, running all the way until June 2032, they're not just buying a football player. They're buying a foundational cornerstone for their entire future project. They're telling their devoted fans and their bitter rivals that they are completely tired of just participating in the league. They want to dominate it. But this massive price tag brings a crushing, almost suffocating weight of expectation. When you cost $123 million, every single missed pass is endlessly analyzed. Every single missed tackle is scrutinized by millions of angry fans. Can Tonali handle the overwhelming pressure of being the ultimate savior of the Spurs midfield? Or will this astronomical transfer fee become a heavy, unbreakable chain around his neck? Only time will give us that answer. But while Tottenham is out there throwing massive bags of cash around like there is absolutely no tomorrow, other smart clubs in Europe are playing a completely different game. A game of shadows, extreme patience, and absolute cunning. A game where you do not need $100 million to find a superstar. How exactly are they doing it, and who are these hidden gems? The answer will blow your mind, and we are diving into that right now. While the entire football world is completely hypnotized by Tottenham's $123 million spending spree, some of the smartest, most tactical executives in Europe are quietly working in the shadows. They are not looking at the brightest lights or the biggest names. They are looking directly at expiring contracts. Welcome to the brilliant art of the free transfer. It is a psychological battlefield where massive scouting networks, deep research, and smooth negotiation tactics matter much more than a giant bank account. And today, we have two absolute masterclasses in this dark art that deserve just as much attention as the Tonali mega deal. Let us travel first to Italy. The Serie A is globally infamous for its tactical brilliance, and Udinese has just pulled off a calculated move that has rival sporting directors scratching their heads in pure envy. They have successfully managed to secure the signature of Giorgi Chakvetadze. Now, casual fans might not immediately realize how massive this actually is. Chakvetadze was at the English club Watford, grinding away in a highly physical, demanding system. But what is his true value? The current market dictates he is worth around $2.9 million. In today's inflated economy, that might seem like pocket change to the elite clubs, but finding a player of his technical quality for absolutely zero transfer fee, that is borderline robbery. Udinese swooped in right as his contract situation became vulnerable. They offered him a beautiful project, a new home in Italy, and secured him on a solid 4-year deal from July 2026 all the way to June 2030. They got a $2.9 million asset without paying a single dime in transfer fees to Watford. This is the absolute definition of smart, sustainable business. Chakvetadze now has a massive point to prove. He has the grand stage of Serie A to show the world that he is worth far more than his market valuation, and Udinese reaps all the rewards without taking any financial risk whatsoever. But wait, the free transfer magic definitely does not stop in Italy. We have to look over at France. Lille has always been a club heavily respected for its incredible talent factory and genius scouting network. They know exactly how to find a diamond in the rough, polish it under pressure, and turn it into a global superstar. And they might have just done it again. The French side has officially announced the clever signing of the highly talented right-back Loun Srdanovic. Srdanovic is crossing the border from the Swiss club Servette directly to Ligue 1, again for a grand total of $0 in transfer fees. Are you starting to see the hidden pattern here? While the desperate billionaires fight over the $100 million players, the smart clubs are reinforcing their squads for free. Srdanovic has locked in his future with Lille on a long-term contract, also running from July 2026 to June 2030. For Lille, bringing in a dynamic, hungry right back gives them immediate defensive stability and wide attacking options. And for Srdanovic, it is the opportunity of a lifetime, the chance to play in one of Europe's top 5 leagues and firmly prove he belongs on the biggest stage. So it leaves us with a fascinating psychological question for you, the loyal fans. We have seen two entirely opposite philosophies today. On one side, we have Tottenham Hotspur, acting out of pure, aggressive ambition, overpaying by nearly $50 million to secure Sandro Tonali and fix their broken midfield immediately. On the other side, we have Udinese and Lille playing the long, patient game, trusting their scouts and acquiring solid, high-potential players for absolutely nothing. Which strategy actually builds a sustainable championship-winning team? Is the $123 million gamble on Tonali a brilliant masterstroke by Spurs, or is it a desperate mistake that will haunt them for years? And between the two free transfers, who do you think pulled off the smarter piece of business?
Please drop your answers in the comments section down below. And if you enjoyed this wild transfer market update, do not forget to hit that like button, share this video with your fellow football addicts, and subscribe to Total Football Nexus so you never miss a single update. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.